I hate criminality. I can't stand it. I said before, no banks should be touched, no church, no mosque, no business person should be touched. No business person should be touched. None should be touched. We know who our enemies are, not these people struggling to feed their families. What type of nonsense is that? We cannot touch people who have done nothing to us. That's not how we roll. Do not touch people doing their legitimate businesses, regardless of where they come from. You cannot touch them. Please. So when something happens, we can investigate very quickly and find out. If not that we know who we are, do you think we would have found out that it was Monguno and Britain that killed Ahmed Gulak, to make it appear as if it is IPOB, so they can start killing our people? You don't understand that? We cannot give our enemies room to demonize what we are doing. That is why we cannot condone any criminal act. We cannot. And by tomorrow, we are going to repay a full lorry load of onions. Money we could have used to do more important things, we are now going to spend compensating the owner of those onions that some fools vandalized.
Indigenous people of Biafra, we are IPOB under one central command, under one leadership, under one directorate, under one coordination all over the world. There is only one indigenous people of Biafra. We are aware now. They want to establish fake groups. They want to deceive you. They want to cheat you. Some idiots may answer IPOB, but you must understand they're not one of us. It is the same thing as Boko Haram wearing police and army uniform to go and kill people. These people are not part of us and can never ever be. How will the products of APC? These are evil men and little boys. We must counter them wherever we see them. They are not IPOB. We have no government. The government of the indigenous people of Biafra is the indigenous people of Biafra. So when the time comes, Biafrans will vote and decide who will govern them. Until then, we are not a government. We are servants of the people, as we shall continually demonstrate. Allow me to repeat what I said before. We are not a government, I tell you. I must warn and caution you. We are the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. There is no government, there is no addition. Of course, we have an embassy, that is true. That embassy is not an organization. We don't run any other website apart from ipob.org. We don't have any other radio station on this earth apart from Radio Biafra. I'm aware that Awasa set up with APC, they set up 1 or 2 radio stations to answer our name as part of their subterfuge and ocean provocateur. But they will not prevail, they will not succeed, they cannot survive the heat because we are ordained, baptized in this very fire of truth and honesty. That is why we preach it without compromise. There is no other way to do it. We are the children of light. That is why we have come. Or should I say, that is why Chukukika Biama determined that we should come. That is why this evening, as always, we must preach his gospel. No particular. We must preach it to the fullest. Only those who are blessed can partake or participate. Only those that seek knowledge. Only those that seek the light. Only those that seek the truth. The seekers of wisdom, the seekers of knowledge are welcome to partake and participate. Or else you are a non-entity. Here we assemble the children of the Most High. Ụmụ Chineke.
Okay. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, great and wonderful people of Biafra, lovers of freedom all over the world. I greet you according to your time zone, wherever you are watching from. Share the video, invite others to join wherever you are watching from. Of course, we are here and we are back again to continue to do the needful. All right, our voice is coming out clear. Definitely, we are here. Of course, you observed that we were doing a program Thursday and we were crushed. So, at the end of the day, we are back to continue where we stopped. Just like I promised that we are coming back this evening, and then we are not going back. There is a lot of things to talk about, just like you have seen in the poster that I have from the beginning of this video. If you check the poster, let us actually reiterate on that poster so that there will be clarity on what we are going to be talking about this morning, this evening, this afternoon. I know it is evening in Biafra time, depending on where you are watching from. So in this poster you see in front of you, you will see number one, Nnamdi Kanu holding his victory in his hands. And number two, you will see the man who planned the coup in Niger Republic on top. On the other hand, you will see the lawyer representing Kanu Kanu and Emmanuel Kanu, and in extension, the autopilot criminal syndicate. You will see him in the middle, in the likes of Aloy and Who. And I want to correct one impression. Those of you who address Ejimako as IPOB lawyer, it is best for you to desist. Aloy Ejimako has never been an IPOB lawyer and will never be. And we are coming here to make the record straight. But we will treat his issue last because I can see it is trending. We are going to bring him and we are going to actually analyze him. We are going to bring also his origin, where he began his misrepresentation. Because if we want to actually tell you that something is sweet, we tell you how sweet it is. If we tell you that something is bad, we tell you how bad it is. We are going to go back to the United States. We are going to start from there. Because, of course, so many of you are not aware of whom Aloy is. And so many of you are not aware of whom brought him in and exactly what he came in this space to represent and to do in this struggle. Remember, immediately when Nnamdi Kanu was rendition, so many people came up in the likes of lawyer, people who want to make them name for themselves. Even the devil came up and become the lawyer. Of course, but at the end of the day, we are going to separate the chaff amongst the wheat. That's exactly what we are here to do. We know one and only IPOB lawyer in the likes of Barrister Ifeanyi Chukwu Ejiofor, whom has introduced SAN, Senior Advocate Mike Ozokome, to represent Nnamdi Kanu in this hard time, while Barrister Ifeanyi Chukwu Ejiofor continued to be the IPOB-led counsel while senior advocate is currently representing Mazen Nnamdi Kanu as the lead counsel in the matter at hand right now. So we're going to clarify everything. If you are sharing this video, I want you to tag Arise News, because Arise News granted an interview to Aloy and Who, and then there are many things that we need to clarify in such interview, and we're going to make it clear. But I said we're going to treat this last, because I want those of you who are still listening to it from other channels for you to listen to it. I don't want to interrupt you. Those who are interested in the what we were talking about previously last week before we were rudely interrupted, we will start from there. But we are going to sort the issue of Aloy and Who amicably, and we are going to actually, extend what is actually obtainable in order to deal with people in the likes of Aloy and Who, because we can not only come and talk, we will actually bring up things that we can use to fight enemies whenever they actually, stare their head in glee against IPOB. So, on the other hand of this picture in front of you, you will see a bloated Buhari, the late president of Nigeria, who later you found wearing mask. And there is a reason why I put the military man who actually plotted the coup in Niger Republic. And there is a reason why I placed this man. And I want many of you not to forget that the time he actually was trying to hang the boat in Nigeria presidency, I want you not to forget two things he said. He said he is going to retire in Daura, or he is going to retire in Niger Republic. So while we are at that, I don't want you to forget those, because it has a lot to do with the coup that is being plotted in the Niger Republic. Because he made a lot of money in Nigeria. He made a whole lot of money in Nigeria. And we are going to talk about it. Then on the other hand is Mazen Nnamdi Kanu raising his victory. Raising his victory. The verdict I was given to him, the quashed, 15-count charges, and Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is free. Whoever the Son of Man set free is indeed free. So, like I was actually saying it last time, I told you that the case of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu from the Court of Appeal, just like you see in that write-up, stands. And I am going to tell you the reason why it stands. So, let's go there. So, great and wonderful people of Biafra, you're watching on YouTube at George Money Blog Africa. Share the video, like the video, and don't forget to subscribe to that YouTube channel. Are you watching on Facebook? Share the video, like the video, and don't forget to follow us on that Facebook page. Let us begin. Number one, I hope you will bring your documentary gadgets, because we want to actually do something that is going to be remembered for a very long time, because whenever we come online, we bring something that it is going to actually, it might be something that will manifest in the future. It might be something that is already happening. So that is the reason why it is very, very, very important for you to actually bring your documentary gadgets in order to make sure that you take it in. Now, first of all, you are aware of the coup that is taking place in Niger Republic. And the plan is to make sure that the whole Sahel region, the coup take place because of the criminality of the democratic or leadership in the sub-Saharan region of Africa. That's why you see the one happening in Mali. And of course, you will understand that coup does not just happen. Somebody has to actually sponsor such coup before it will take place. And of course, if you look at it, the ex-president of Nigeria, which we know all that he is called a mask wearer, who call himself Buhari, who has retired to the Niger Republic. If you want to come to Nigeria, he just crossed the border, he go to Daura. That is a person that they have enriched with the all Nigerian money, that he is now trying to make sure he sponsors something in Niger Republic. That is as a result of the coup you see in Niger Republic. Because if you think about it, you will ask yourself, why has it been that ever since he was a president of Nigeria all this while, the coup didn't take place? It is immediately when he retired, just like he said he's going to Daura. Now, people now have money to plan coup against the president. When we tell you that the man that has been in Asari Rock is not Buhari, you will never believe it. But of course, you are going to believe it one day. One day, the truth is going to come up and you are going to see them. And if you understand that the man know very well that's why when you see what happened during the time of election, the man is not a bona fide APC member. That's why he moved the motion for Emefiele to make sure that he changed the money, so that even the man was against Tinubu, but it is already written that Tinubu will be the president of Nigeria, come what may. It is his turn, according to the agreement made with the dead Buhari. So that is exactly the reason why Tinubu has to be the president. The man used Emefiele to make sure that he changed the money to try to, see if, because they know that Tinubu has to bribe himself into the position of leadership. So he tried everything to make sure that Tinubu does not get in there or bribe himself into the leadership. Because that guy who was there, it was actually not in his position to make decisions. It was, if you look at the man who was masking himself as Buhari, he was only there because he want money, he want power. And that power and that money is what he is utilizing in Niger Republic. That's why you saw they gave Niger Republic how many cars? When police in Nigeria never had cars, it was part of the agreement. Now the man has retired. He wants to take his power in Niger Republic. He wants to put his man in Niger Republic. And that is how you start seeing a coup attempt and the coup taking place in Niger Republic. The money is there. They milked Nigeria very, very well. And they want to control government. He has tested the position of power. Now, he is now going to practice it where he come from originally. That is very, very important. I want you to start investigating that. Because, what I am saying is so many of you will think it is one of the fallacy. Pay attention. Keep your ears on the ground. You will understand what I am saying very soon. Now, that is exactly the reason why immediately when ECOWAS, you remember ECOWAS is a corrupt entity. ECOWAS is a corrupt entity. That is the reason why ECOWAS decided to take the ECOWAS leadership to give to Nigeria president. And when Nigeria president made a speech about the coup in Niger Republic, what was the response? They responded to him and reminded him that he is not democratically elected president of Nigeria. True or false? That was the response they gave to him. Those who were plotting the coup in Niger Republic. That he was not a democratic elected president in Nigeria, so he should not even try to actually caution them. So it has everything to do with what I'm talking about. But I don't want to emphasize on that very much, because the reason why I am mostly here, it is about the activities of Aloy Ejimako, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's verdict that is standing, and I am going to tell you exactly what exactly is we are going to expect from the case of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. I am going to tell you two things that you will be expecting from the case of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, and exactly why is it so? Because it has come to our table. We are going to debunk it. We know the game Nigeria and their elite is playing, and we are going to debunk it. Now, first of all, let's go to this man that is on the below picture you see here, which is the NNPC chairman. NNPC chairman. Because there was something we were talking about previously. We were talking about those who benefited from the subsidy in Nigeria. We talked about such. Those who benefited from the subsidy in Nigeria. And at the end of the day, those who benefited in the subsidy in Nigeria, the fraudulent subsidy in Nigeria that never existed. Tinubu's nephew is part of them. Tinubu's nephew is part of them. The owner of Owando Nigeria PLC was part of those who benefited from this. And of course, Tinubu, I heard a statement where Tinubu said that he does not have an oil well, that he does not know much about oil. But his nephew has an oil well and knows everything about oil field and the fraudulent subsidy that they have benefited from. Even Mike Adenuga benefited from oil subsidy, because it has been a serious syndicate that they were running in this oil sector. And the man who is supposed to be the man who does the oversight, which is Mele Kolo Kiari, which is the NNPC, chairman of NNPC, who is supposed to be doing the oversight and making sure that everything runs smoothly in Nigeria oil business. But the same man, I don't know if we are still coming out. Just one moment. But the same man, I don't know if we are still coming out. It's very, very slow, the computer, after the crash. So now, if we talk about the NNPC, the activities of the NNPC, you will understand that it says from the piece that I read that NNPC is the only sector that does not have, there is no transparency in the running of the affairs of NNPC. NNPC is supposed to be the ones who does the oversight in every oil sector in Nigeria. NNPC is the one who's supposed to decode whether there is or no better that subsidy never existed, and know those who have siphoned money in the name of subsidy. Those who make a turn, they bring in petrol into Nigeria, go about, turn it back, and bring it back and collect subsidy. They use the same petrol, go outside the border, come back, collect subsidy. This has been what is going on, and Tinubu knows about it. Just like I was saying before, he knows very well about this. Then why is it that you are paying so much for petrol when the subsidy never existed, when the subsidy was always a sham, a lie, a scam? Why? That is the question that is very, very important that you need to be asking. Subsidy never existed. That you need to be asking this government. It is a very important question you need to be asking this government, because I don't want to emphasize on that much, because if you look at the one called Miss Oil, Mrs. Oil PLC, or Miss Oil and Gas, you see the owner of that is Dan Tata, Sayu Dan Tata. This person benefited also from the subsidy. He benefited from the subsidy. Dan Tata. These are our billionaires in Nigeria. They benefited from the oil subsidy in Nigeria. It is part of, and one other pinnacle company, which is from, I think is from that side of Akwa Ibom. They benefited from the oil subsidy, because these are the people who will go about tell you they import any amount. They tell you they import, you will agree, then you give them subsidy in millions. Now, having seen all that, you as a Nigerian who is paying almost 700 naira for a petrol, a pump price of petrol, almost 700 naira, you should know that the subsidy that has been a scam all this while, you are still furnishing that subsidy. You are paying it as indirect tax. That is because IMF is going to like it the way it is, because IMF, it is all about impoverishing ordinary people in Africa while enriching their politicians, because IMF is well aware that introducing such policies or some kind of monetary policy is going to impoverish the people on the ground. That is exactly what IMF knows, and they will actually like the first subsidy removal, which has been a scam all this while, and now the pump price is up, and they will use it to give you more loan. Now you are indirectly selling the country. You are indirectly selling the country assets to the IMF. That's why Nigeria will never grow. That's why Nigeria will never make it to come out of all this third and the second world country. Even though it has what it takes, but it will never grow, because Nigeria is created by Britain for profit making, not for nation building, not for growth of a nation, not for economic stability of the nation, not for the growth of the people who live in it. It is for profit making of those syndicates who are running oil mafia, who are oil thieves. Those are the people who make profit from Nigeria, not you and I, who are supposed to be the beneficiaries of all these profits. But we cannot make profit from there because we are not supposed to make profit. We are the people who will be doing cheap labor for those who make profit from Nigeria. Of course, they will start kicking you out because we are telling them the truth. And that is exactly how it is. That is what is going on. When IMF give you loan, plus on top of the $100 billion that you already owing, coupled with 800 and something that they just collected from World Bank recently. These are part of it. When are you going to finish the payment? When are you going to, when are you going to actually service that debt while doing service delivery in Nigeria? When is it going to happen? It is very difficult. They know that these politicians, they take this money, share it amongst themselves, and the country will be overly indebted and it will never be independent. The country will never be independent. That is exactly the way it is. So that is exactly what you are seeing. Now, if you think about ever since Nigeria was created, what good has come out of it? What you see in Nigeria, tribalism, terrorism, and you see politicians enriching themselves, inequality. That is exactly what you see in Nigeria, because Nigeria has never created to be a nation. That is the reason why we have called for the dissolution of this 1914 amalgamation. Let these people of this region go according to their original, their natural way of life, how they were before colonization. That's what made them the great nation that they were, which these people sought before, coming in to colonize you. Because they will, if they don't find anything, they will never, it is success that attracts Britain. It is success that attracts Britain. And that is the reason why once they come, they take away that success. When they are going, they make sure they deindustrialize you so that you will be dependent on them in order to do anything. If you want to build your road, you will be dependent on other people. Even though you create engineer, you have engineers who go to school in your own land. If you want to, do anything that is if you want to build a hospital, you will be dependent on them. Even though you have engineers, who civil engineers, who graduated from your school and does not have employment. You have all of them, but you will go and invite foreign, engineers to come and construct your road, to come and build your hospital, to come and build your railway. You will have to go to call China. You will never have people to do it from your own land because you are deindustrialized. Your school does not teach you practical. It teaches you theory. So when you come out of theory, you will only know of Latin, surveyors. That's what you will only know. Now, when it is time for you to get down and dirty, you won't be able to do it because you didn't do practical at school. There is no facilities that will enable you to even do such practicals in school because you were deindustrialized. Even in your education system, you were deindustrialized, I would say, because there is no, facility for practicals in schools that is in Nigeria. There is no machineries for those who are practicing engineer, mechanical engineers to practice on. You wouldn't find such things in Nigeria because Nigeria is indeed not a nation created for, the growth of the people who live in it. It is a place that is created for the sake of profit for those who created it. Facebook is fighting us dirty. They are fighting us dirty, we can see it. But the truth is what we must say. We must say it. If they continue to kick you out on Facebook, go join us on YouTube at Judge Money Blog Africa. Because I can see they continue to kick you out seriously on Facebook. Join us at Judge Money Blog Africa. I don't know why. Let me see. Are we coming out? But the truth is what we must say. We must say it. If they continue to kick you out on Facebook. All right, I believe we are coming out. In case if you can no longer hear our voice, kindly inform me. Inform me. Those watching on YouTube, you can actually inform me. If you cannot hear my voice, inform me, please, so that I will know, because I could see that the Facebook is drastically going down. I don't know why it is. I don't know if my voice is not coming out on Facebook. So let me check the byte rate and resolution. Let me will okay. I think all right, I think we are coming out clearly. I believe we are coming out clearly. We are coming out clearly now. Yeah. So let us actually go to the next thing that we have. Let's go to the next thing that we have, so that we will, I don't know what's going on with my computer. I believe I don't know what's going on, but I believe we must continue. So when we talk about, what we are talking about right now, you will understand that Nigeria will never ever stand, because it is on a wrong footing. And when you are building on a wrong foundation, you are building to fail. If you are building on a foundation that you are not aware of what this foundation, the capacity of what this foundation will be able to hold, you are building to fail. That is the reason why we must make sure that we destroy the 1914 amalgamation. It is a wrong foundation that was actually dug by the Britain, that is going to be in the favor of Britain and never in the favor of those that was put together, that was forcefully put together to call a nation and the giant of Africa. Because when it starts being bad from the head, every other place will follow suit. So this is where I am going to leave it now. We are going to talk about now Aloy Ejimako. There is an interview that was granted by Aloy Ejimako. There is an interview granted by Aloy Ejimako. Such interview is what we are here to talk about, because such interview, he said a lot of things that is actually contradictive towards what he claimed that he represents. And such things that he said, it is what we are going to talk about. Because if you remember the activities of what Aloy Ejimako is doing right now, the activities of Aloy Ejimako, remember we have been saying it, and we said that Aloy Ejimako is not representing IPOB and has never been a lawyer of IPOB. Aloy Ejimako has been a lawyer to Kanu and Emmanuel Kanu, and even the one who called himself, what type of prophet does he call himself? Thank you very much, Agnes Chukwemaka. What type of prophet that he call himself? Doctor O say, don't forget that Dantata is the grandfather of Aliko Dangote, like grandfather who benefited from oil subsidy, like grandson who benefited and built oil refinery in Lagos. Corrupt billionaires. Thank you very much, Dr. O from YouTube. You actually made a very good observation. Yeah, Dan Tata is the owner of Mrs. Oil. Mrs. Oil, they benefited 224 224 million, is it billion? Let me find out how much they benefited from the theft called oil subsidy in Nigeria. Before we go back to what we are saying, they benefited They benefited 224 billion 818 224 billion 818 naira. 224 billion. That's what Dan Tata benefited from the oil subsidy in the year 2000 and in the year 2000 and is it 11 and 12. In the year 2011 and 12, or even 2002-3, they were benefiting from oil subsidy. That is part of what makes these people billionaire. When you think it is selling flour and rice and cement that made them billionaire, it is not the case. They are benefiting from a lot of things in Nigeria that you ordinary people and those whom this oil is coming out from your ground, you have never even benefited anything like that from. We are having a serious issue with this broadcast. So let me fast forward. Let me fast track it so that we will be able to achieve something. First of all, let me remind you that Aloy Ejimakor's activities, latest activities, it is called misrepresentation. If anybody understands the meaning of misrepresentation in the legal system, if you understand what is called misrepresentation in the legal system, you will understand that it is a crime. Now, if you go to the dictionary for you to understand what a misrepresentation is all about, let us actually look for it in the dictionary. It says that the action or offense of giving a false or misleading account of the nature of something. Example, she is seeking damages on allegation of misrepresentation. Now, for you to understand the reason why I am actually reading it out for you, the exact meaning of misrepresentation is for you to know that it is the same thing that Aloy Ejimakor is doing against Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. And the reason why we are reiterating, we are telling you this, it is in the nature of Aloy Ejimakor. Misrepresentation is in the nature of Aloy Ejimakor. I know so many of you does not know Aloy Ejimakor very well, but we are going to tell you who exactly is Aloy Ejimakor, and that is exactly what we are going to do now. First of all, I want you to listen to the interview granted by Aloy Ejimakor to the Arise News before we go to tell you exactly that Aloy Ejimakor, the misrepresentation and lies against, his so-called client did not start from IPOB or from, what he represents right now, because we know very well that he does not represent IPOB. He does not represent IPOB. So that is the reason why we are bringing it to you. Pay very good attention to this, what I am trying to play, for you. Let us try to debunk the activities of that guy. Facebook. Now listen to this video.
Thank you for joining us on Newsnight. Now let's get something.
Thank you.
Right. Let's get something really straight here. We need some clarity for the purpose of the viewer. Okay. Those enforcing the sit-at-home order till now, who are they loyal to? Who are they answerable to? Are they answerable to Nnamdi Kanu or answerable to ECWA?
Well, I'll speak on what I know as of counsel.
He will speak of what he knows as of counsel. Counsel to whom? That is one thing I want to hear from him now. Counsel to whom? Because when Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was outside, we did not hear that he has any counsel. Or if there is any of you who heard that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu has a counsel, please, I want you to indicate, because whom we know is IPOB lawyer. Even from 2015, we didn't know any counsel except Barrister Joffo. Now all of a sudden, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu has a counsel. Now you will understand and agree with me that prior to the time this counsel surfaced, or the so-called counsel surfaced, you will know that they established a human rights case in Umuahia. It was granted to him. Now you will now start questioning exactly what was the reason why he went to that court and just win. And of course, did they set him up for something, that they had to give him that win in order to bring him closer to exactly what is going on. And thank God that we had somebody like Barrister Joffo. And thank God that we have, the structure, Mazi Chike Doziem, who is in charge after Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Because if we did not have these two, these entities, believe you me, these people, they are the devil who came to devour. Because Nigeria knows that we will just give him that verdict, even though that verdict we will have nothing to do with it. We will give it to him so that we will use him to penetrate the struggle. We will use him to familiarize the struggle. We will use him to make people love him, because they know that IPOB, what do you call them? What do you call the sympathizers? They know that they are very emotional. They know that those who, claim that they are in the struggle, some of them are very, very emotional. They are, emotion, their emotion is the one that is very, very, it is pathetic. So because they know, they gave it to him. Now he came closer. Remember, he started fighting to also be part of Abuja. Because that was the plan, that if he won Umuahia, if they gave him to Umuahia, that doesn't make any difference, that they never even recognize. They did, if they gave it to him, he will come closer. To the extent, there was even a time when Ejiofor introduced a son Ozokome. This guy called Ejimako introduced, another son. It became like a conflict of interest. But the clarity we want to make here, he said as a council. Whose council is he? He is not a council to IPOB. So he cannot actually give day-to-day activities of IPOB. He cannot tell you anything that he, concerning IPOB's activities or how IPOB is registered, other than him being hired by some, siblings of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu and called him special counsel, because we never had special counsel from Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. All we know that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu have said it several times that Ejiofor is the IPOB lawyer and he trusts him. Ejiofor will never be compromised because he trusts him, and the video is there out there for you to see. Now this man came all up from nowhere after somebody who heard that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was missing for 8 days, and he delayed the move that IPOB should have made, the DOS should have made, in order to call for rescue. Because if we started protest from Kenya, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu will never be rendition to Nigeria, which every one of you will actually know about it. If Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, if the alarm was raised, if Kanu Kanu actually notified the leadership that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is trapped in Kenya, there is no way Mazen Nnamdi Kanu will be rendition to Nigeria when a protest is going on. That the highest thing they will do is to establish a case, and we will start the court case from Kenya. From Kenya now, there will now be a court case to decide whether he will be rendition or not. That's how it is done. But now, he actually concealed the information that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is praying in them, is not missing, is praying in the mountain. While they have already put their plans in place, they have taken their own counsel, their crafty counsel, against Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. And they have hired a counsel, special counsel. When he tell you that he is a special counsel, I want you to understand how special he is to those who hired him. He is special to Kanu Kanu. He is special to Emmanuel Kanu. He is special to these people. He is not known to IPOB. We don't know him. And the reason why this man is going to see Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, believe you me, it is because he is hired by Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's siblings. And because of the love of sibling Mazen Nnamdi Kanu have on his siblings, that is the reason why he allowed this guy to come close. Knowing that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is in the DSS solitary confinement, that he rely on the information that is given to him from out there to work. So these people will come with the family members. They will be feeding him lies. And the lies that they are feeding him, it is for him to continue to be there while they are going out there negotiating with the politicians. Politicians like Hope Uzodimma. While he is out there, when you see Hope Uzodimma, talking all these things that he is sending out there, you should know that it is just a media statement that will never, be carried out. It is a media statement that will never be carried out. Somebody was sending me where Hope Uzodimma said that they need to rendition Simon Ekpa. I laughed. Because these are a bunch of people who are sympathizers, but they will tell you we are IPOB oath member, who cannot read handwriting on the wall. That the opus of them are calling for Simon to be brought to Nigeria. How can you bring somebody to Nigeria? Somebody that they are working with. They are making those statements so that it will look as if they don't know what is going on. We know these things. That is politics. Politics is a dirty game that if you are not aware, they will play it on your head and they cash out. You will even support them to cash out on your head. That is politics. Game of politics is a very bad, dirty game. Now listen, let us find out if he will tell us what made him cancel and what exactly is he talking about as a council, what he knows as of a council. Listen.
That might be limited knowledge. That might be all you need to know, and our viewers tonight. Nnamdi Kanu is the supreme leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. There are no two supreme leaders, and at this moment, there is no deputy leader. They have other leaders lower down the hierarchy of supreme leader and deputy leader. So standing on that, anybody that acts in the name of IPOB, whether the person acted for good or bad or for the ugly, is often attributed to the head of the organization.
Anybody that acted in the name of the organization, whether they acted the good or bad or the ugly, they will be attributed as the head of the organization. This is a council speaking. So if I decided tomorrow now that I have to come up and start, playing, I have to start using the name of IPOB. Now just look for sponsorship, gather some boys on the ground, at least we that are people who know people on the ground, if we have to create something on the ground, it won't take us anything. But now, you just attract one or two sponsors, we start criminality, and we start kidnapping, just like they are doing. We start killing people, we start, telling them sit at home. So it means that I will be seen as as the leader. That's what the council is saying. He said that there is no deputy leader. That every other leader, every other position is lower than the supreme leader and the deputy leader. Now, Aloy Ejimako, let me ask you a question. You said that IPOB does not have deputy leader. Let's play a devil advocate. And IPOB does not have a deputy leader. Then you decided that you will single-handedly cancel, take a deputy leader and give to a thug who live in Finland. You are single-handedly giving the deputy leader to a thug who bring, distress to the people on the ground, who actually bring act of terrorism against our people on the ground, who does have, heinous crime against the people on the ground. You attributed a deputy leader to him. That is the reason why there was a post you made. You said that you are going to represent Simon Ekpa in Enugu State. That's why you are seeing him as a deputy leader. You are forgetting that Nnamdi Kanu made it clear to each and every one of us. He made it clear to each and every one of us that before we proceed with this, let me bring this so that we will understand exactly what is going on. When this man come to tell you that there is no deputy leader, there is lower leaders, let me tell you, let's just find out if there is a lower leader, or if there is a man after Nnamdi Kanu, which is, seen as the man who do oversight, who actually represent Nnamdi Kanu in the absence of Nnamdi Kanu, who can overrule, who can override, who has the power of attorney. Let us find out, because that power of attorney was given in public. The power of attorney, you as a counsel, as you call yourself, you understand that the power of attorney, it was given. Mazi Chike Doziem can sign a memo. Mazi Chike Doziem can dismiss anybody in IPOB. Mazi Chike Doziem can actually, make a decision on behalf of IPOB. So who is he, as a counsel that you call yourself, that you don't understand when power of attorney is issued? Let me remind you that we have somebody who is actually deputizing Nnamdi Kanu, because Nnamdi Kanu made it clear to every one of us, except if you are ignorant of that fact. Let me remind you.
Anybody not following anything that DOS says goes. Anybody not following orders from Chike Doziem from DOS, you will be removed from IPOB and sanctioned appropriately. Before we remove you without knowing where you are, this time around we will catch you before we remove you. Anything DOS says is what goes. Uzurumike is heading our reconciliation committee. If he calls you on the phone, you must listen to him and do as he says. He is our deputy head of Directorate of State, led by Mazi Chike Doziem. They are the highest decision-making body in IPOB.
Thank you. Let's leave it here. Special counsel who does not know what is power of attorney. Special counsel. These are a bunch of illiterates. They come, of course, Nigeria is a dumping ground. Nigeria, you see, is a dumping ground. This idiot you see that is now going in the name that is representing Nnamdi Kanu or IPOB, he does not know anything in IPOB. He does not. Let me remind you exactly where he does the same thing he is doing in IPOB. The reason why he is not practicing where he studied. Let me bring it to you, because so many of you are not, you forget so quickly. Let me bring you the case of Aloy Ejimako from the United States. Why Aloy Ejimako is a criminal in the USA. Aloy Ejimako is a criminal in the USA. If we have our people on the ground, our people should go to Nigeria Bar Association and report the activities and misrepresentation of Aloy Ejimako. He's a criminal. He is bringing bad reputation and bad name to the Nigeria Bar Association, if they exist. Because, when in every country where you are, there is a law society. There is a place, there is a entity called Law Society. Law Society in Nigeria, it is called Nigeria Bar Association, where if a lawyer you hired to represent you is misrepresenting you or actually using your name to siphon or steal money, you go straight to Nigeria Bar Association and file a case against that lawyer. His license can be taken for the sake of such act that they are doing against you. Let us remind Nigeria Bar Association the case of Aloy Ejimako in the United States, the case of fraud, just like he's using name of Nnamdi Kanu today, going to governors, using name of Nnamdi Kanu, going and getting money from governors and representing the thief in Finland. That's why I will always ask you, who is sponsoring the activities of the thief in Finland? Who is sponsoring it? It is the governors. These are the boots on the ground that he has. Aloy Ejimako is one of the boots on the ground that he has, that goes and negotiates deals with the governors. If the deals, those shady deals, did not go through, then he will tell you, when a governor or anybody in political space, you start seeing a Belima in Finland actually maligning or talking about him every day. you should understand that such person, they have tried to negotiate a deal where they will be siphoning money from him in the name of what's going on. They are not winning. This is not what I wrote. This is a case of Aloy Ejimako in the United States. Let me read it out for you, so that you will see that his misrepresentation is in his nature. Fraud is in his nature. That is the reason why the criminal in Finland decided that he will work with him. All this while, when we told you that he's been working with the criminal in Finland, you believe it is a joke. You believe it was a joke. That Nnamdi Kanu will tell him what he will bring out there. He will not, because he already knows that the criminal in Finland have maligned Barrister Joffo. That Barrister Joffo, what he bring will not even, people will not pay at those illiterates that is following the activities of the criminal in Finland. Those who are actually just stupid. They mean no harm, but they are just stupid. They will not even listen to Ejiofor, because the Belima in Finland has actually planted evil seed in their brain that Ejiofor sold out. So that is the reason why even if Ejiofor come and tell you today that Nnamdi Kanu say, these people will not even, they will tell you it is a fake. That just like the way they have seen handwriting of Nnamdi Kanu. Some of them, if you ask them, they tell you they have been around though, but they can't recognize the handwriting of Nnamdi Kanu. Now, at the end of the day, that is the reason why, like I told you, that this letter is a letter that was issued for a specific reason to Aloy. The letter was issued for a specific reason to Aloy. Because obviously that there is something that says Anuba Joso Abaya Jebwe. Now Abu Aloy, he runs faster than his shadow. He has been running very faster than his shadow. That is the reason why he has to be the one, and he must be the one to deliver that letter. None else. It is actually one of the traps that was set for him. Listen to this. Listen to this. Of course, you can read very well. Can you read? Of course, you can. Read with me. Whose name is here? Whose name is here? This is not my case. This is the case of Aloy Ejimako. Matter of Aloysius O Ejimako. And I want you, those of you who are domiciled in USA, to find out. Do the finding. New York State. Do the finding whether this is authentic or this is a fraud. Listen to it. Matter of Ejimako, 2004, New York Sleep, OP 08308, bracket 12 AD 3D 930, November 18, 2004, appellate decision. That is the number of the case. Third Department published by New York State Law Reporting Bureau pursuant to Judiciary Law 431 as corrected through Wednesday, January 19, 2025. January 19, 2005, rather. So that we will know, because as an when IPOB come to tell you things, you will think we are lying. We are not lying. Those who hired Ejimako knows exactly his history. They know what he can do. He can do the job better. The job of misrepresentation and fraud. Now he says, in the matter of Aloysius O. Ejimako, a suspended attorney. Did you see the highlighted area? A suspended attorney, respondent, Committee on Professional Standard Petitioner. Now listen, it was not one person because this is a petition. Now, per curiam, respondent was admitted to practice by this court in 1995 and maintained a law office in Landover Hills, Maryland. He is currently suspended from practice in New York by order of this court entered June 15, 2000 for failure to register as an attorney in violation of Judiciary Law 468A. 468A. Now you see the matter of attorney in violation of Judiciary Law 468A 273 AD 2D 600 2000. That is the number of the case. Now, petitioner charges this respondent with having engaged in the conduct. Listen very well. Listen attentively so that you will know exactly what was the case all about. Having engaged in the conduct involving dishonesty. Did you hear that? Aloy and Who has been dishonest from the United States. The case of dishonesty. Are you reading with me? This is not me. This is not me. This is case of Aloy and Who in the United States. I did not write it. You can make inquiries. You will actually find it. Now, on a professional standard petitioner, per curiam respondent was admitted to practice by the court in 1995, maintained of a law office in land. Okay, I think I went. Petitioner charges respondent with having engaged in a conduct involving dishonesty. Did you see it? Dishonesty, fraud. See it? Fraud, deceit, and misrepresentation. What did I tell you that is a characteristics of this man? The character of this man is dishonesty, is fraud, is misrepresentation. Is it not what I told you? That is exactly what he is actually was doing in the United States before he was charged. And he was actually, disbanded from being a practicing lawyer in the United States. That's why he came and dumped himself in a dumping ground called Nigeria, because Nigeria does not do due diligence. He's a US studied lawyer. Now, welcome, give him license. That's why we must engage Nigeria Bar Association to see the type of people they give license to practice law, to represent people in Nigeria. If they do not react to it, we will know, of course, Nigeria is a zoo. They might not react to it. He will bribe them with the money he's been getting from governors, and they are sharing with Simon Ekpa in Finland. Now, listen to it. Conduct that is prejudicial to the administration of justice, conduct adversely reflecting upon this fitness as an attorney, the unauthorized practice of law, and failure to cooperate with the practitioner's investigation. Respondent has not filed an answer to the petition of charges. Petition now moves for a default judgment, and respondent has failed to answer or appear. He is even in contempt of court in the United States. This has been in contempt of court in the United States, which it means that even Aloy and Who might be having a warrant of arrest in the United States. So when he tell you he go to United States, you should ask him again, where did you say you go? Because he has a warrant of arrest. Once you are in a contempt of court in the United States, a warrant of arrest will be issued against you. Now, or appear on the motion, respondent failure to answer or appear is tantamount to an admission of the charges is tantamount to admission of charges. See matter of Wunderlich. Wunderlich 149 AD2D 809 1989. Under these circumstances, under these circumstances, we grant the motion and examine the proof submitted by practitioner to ascertain the extent of respondent guilt of the charges of professional misconduct. See the matter of Farrington 270 AD to the 710 2000. Charges I. Specification. Charges 1. Specification 1 alleges that respondent represent client before the United States to immigration court, knowing that he was suspended from practice of law. Okay, this is actually quoting in a situation where such thing happened in the past, how it was handled. So, but the most important thing that you should know is that Aloy Ejimako is in a contempt of court in the United States. Aloy Ejimako is a criminal in the United States. Aloy Ejimako has a case to answer in the United States. Aloy Ejimako was dumped in Nigeria because he cannot actually work in. Who is calling me? Please, I am not taking calls yet. Please, if you are calling for the program, I am not taking calls right now. Please, let me finalize what I am doing before we take call. All right. Aloy Ejimako is not caller. I am not taking calls right now. Please call back. Please call back. So, it is very, very important for you to know whom Aloy is, so that when we are talking about his, misconduct and how he carry himself, Arise News, that's why I say you should tag Arise News, for them to see that it is in the blood of Aloy Ejimako to misrepresent people. It is in the blood of Aloy Ejimako to defraud people. It is in the blood of Aloy Ejimako to be acting as if he is representing people while he is not even chosen. He has no capacity to be in the space where he actually hires himself into. This is a reason why some people decided to bring Aloy Ejimako close to Nnamdi Kanu, so that whenever we are doing something internationally, Aloy will be flaunting himself. People in the US will be saying, is he not this criminal that was, that has a case to answer? This is actually part of, criminalizing activities of Nnamdi Kanu. That's why the enemy decided to go and hire Aloy Ejimako and call him special counsel to Nnamdi Kanu. Because Nnamdi Kanu are outside to call Izalonia. And what they told Nnamdi Kanu is the reason why they hired a special counsel. It is because they will tell him there is a case of human rights. There is a case of extraordinary rendition in Kenya. There is a case of this. So we want, if these people are representing the Umuahia case, these other ones will be representing the Abuja case. The other ones will be representing the Kenya case. That is exactly the reason why. The reason they have given to Nnamdi Kanu by bringing this man close. They went to Umuahia and they gave him this verdict. And he came back to it, go and announce to Nnamdi Kanu, you have won. Without Nnamdi Kanu knowing that he is part of the plan of this Nigeria government that is actually using, they are using manipulation to enter our people. But because our people, they lack understanding, they cannot actually understand the handwriting on the wall. That is the reason why Aloy Ejimako came to tell you that there is no deputy leader in IPOB, that anybody that who started doing criminality, like whether good, bad or ugly, he will be called a deputy leader, as if IPOB is known to be doing good, bad and ugly. These are the people who Nnamdi Kanu and Co decided to bring, or on behalf of his brother, their brother. Do they really like their brother, or are they seeking for a way to make their brother to be in that solitary confinement for good without coming out? Because they will be parading themselves as Umunne Nnamdi Kanu. We are going to governor Hope Uzodinma. He will give them maybe 20 million. And we are going to this person. I said I am not taking call. Who is calling me? I am not taking call, please. So they will be parading themselves. Who is this? And then they will be going to governors and they will be telling them, we are okay. Let me see. Hello? Hello? I am not taking call yet. I am not taking call. You are basically distracting me. Please, call me back, or I will call you back if you have a very important something to bring in. I'm not taking call yet. So, it is very, very necessary for you to know the reason why Aloy came to
The oranges here. So that no.
because these people are hiring what you call, Aloy, I will give him to be a technocrat in defrauding people. He is a professional, fraudster. He is a professional misrepresenter. They know, and they know the role that he has to play. They know he plays it very well. That is the reason why you will, on the other hand, you will see unfortunate in-law. He was the one who was debunking the activities of the criminal in Finland. All of a sudden, they came to a resolution that they will now be doing Abateke. That is the reason why, if you see the unfortunate in-law who call himself is it Master Prophet, he said to you that when that Simon gave him water to drink, because it is all about it is all about who will make the money happen, who will make it rain. That is exactly what made him to betray his own brother-in-law. That is exactly what made him to represent his own people. Because now, if you hear what that guy is talking, you will know that guy, there is something fundamentally wrong with these people. Let's continue to listen to this criminal.
When somebody goes out there and say, I'm a disciple of Nnamdi Kanu, and he levies violence on the general public in the name of sit at home, Nnamdi Kanu gets to take the bad name simply because he's the head of the organization. It's not fair on him.
Now, this idiot is an idiot that's supposed to be, if indeed, listen up. This is supposed to be as a special counsel he called himself. Remember, he has started sabotaging IPOB. That's exactly what he is doing. Indirectly. Just like the autopilot, because he's been a member of autopilot. He said that if anybody come and say that he is a disciple and start doing anything in the name of the organization, that it actually give bad name to the Mazen Nnamdi Kanu because he's the head of the organization. Instead of these guys to start, this is misrepresentation. Instead of this guy as a special counsel to be telling you or telling the world that Simon Ekpa is never a part of IPOB and has never been a part of IPOB, he was fortunate enough because Mazen Nnamdi Kanu granted IPOB, what do you call them? IPOB fans. There are fans, there are members of IPOB, there are fans of IPOB. Delo Momod was a fan of IPOB. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu granted him interview. Professor Lumumba was a fan of IPOB. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu granted him interview. And Matanga was a fan of IPOB. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu granted him interview. Simon Ekpa was a fan of IPOB. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu granted him interview. And now, he now claimed that he is a disciple. And he came and using the name of your client, killing people in Biafra land. Even when Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, we've been saying it and saying it, Ejiofor came and said it, and those criminals that are running with you people came to say Ejiofor is sold out. That we want Mazen Nnamdi Kanu to say it himself. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu come to tell you, I want Biafra land to be calm. He said it, and they come and tell you, no, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was compelled to say it. Now Mazen Nnamdi Kanu wrote a letter. They tell you, no, it is not Mazen Nnamdi Kanu who wrote the letter. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu should come and say it again. One, big, foolish people who cannot reason, or perhaps they reason from their ends. Those are the type of people who follow these people. And it is quite appalling. It is quite appalling. Now you listen to a so-called special counsel telling you that when a criminal come and act on behalf of IPOB, or in the name of IPOB rather, that will be attributed to IPOB. Can you imagine the philosophy of special counsel? How on earth is that going to be attributed to IPOB? Everybody is liable to the crime they must have committed one way or the other. You must actually be answerable to your crime. I cannot answer to your crime. You answer to your crime because you are an adult. You are not a minor. It is only a minor that some question will be asked to their parents as per the crime they have committed or they might have committed before they will be taken to the juvenile. But these people are adults. So how will their criminality be attributed to Mazen Nnamdi Kanu? Is Mazen Nnamdi Kanu outside? Have you ever seen Mazen Nnamdi Kanu prior to the time they started their criminality? Have you ever seen Mazen Nnamdi Kanu coming to tell you, oh, they are doing it for me? Oh, they are. But Mazen Nnamdi Kanu have debunked them in several occasions, which you has been in denial of it, because what they are doing is bringing money to their pocket and as well your pocket, Ejimako. And you've been working with them. When they come to malign the name of Barrister Ejiofor, you kept quiet. That's why I personally, if anybody will remember, I said the first time I did a broadcast, because it all started after my interview with Barrister Ejiofor in 2021, which actually made Simon, because Simon was trying to see if he will use Ejiofor the same way he is now using Ejimako. Because of the resolute of Ejiofor, because of his resilience, he refused and he cast the devil to the bottomless pit. And that was what he was trying, what he was actually pushing to see if he will achieve the time Barrister Ejiofor granted that interview. He was pushing. He saw that Ejiofor is a formidable and a die-hard, defender of IPOB against all odds. he turned 190 degrees against Ejiofor. He was singing his praise when he saw he could not use him to do his bidding, because the plan was to use somebody who is so close to Mazen Nnamdi Kanu to destroy the organization, while that person will be championing their cause. And he claimed he is getting message from the heart of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. And he failed that time. He started looking for another way. That's when he started communicating with Kanu and the unfortunate in-law. If you remember, they were always fighting Kanu because they know that Kanu had knowledge of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu missing for 8 days. They were utilizing that because they saw Kanu as the only challenge that they were going to face in that regard. Because Kanu, they saw him as he is going to be the one who is going to be, debunking them or stand in their way of trying to take over IPOB. When they already know, because the Kanu, everything he does, because he wants to be the king of Afaru Ukwibek, or next of king. So while at it, he had no choice, because the enemy knows exactly his plans. The enemy know exactly what he was doing. They were using it to sideline him, not to come and challenge them, without knowing that they are working for one Alhaji. Immediately when they discovered, they reconciled. When they reconciled, you did not hear Simon or Nelly or anybody talking about Kanu or all of them, everything, including Master Prophet. Every time you will always use a picture of Simon. He will crop Madam Fixer. He called the other one Madam Fixer. So he bring them together. He has been his topic. But when they discovered that now we can work together in order to enrich ourselves, that's why Simon that he was thirsty. Simon gave him water to drink. So he was dire in need of money. Simon now showed him how they will be doing Abateke. They will now introduce him to Ejimako. That was when they gave Simon Ejimako, and that's why you did not hear them talking about the Kanu again. They started working on the ground with each other, meeting governors. Abateke. So now you can understand that these guys, these are well-organized syndicates working against Mazen Nnamdi Kanu and against the structure. That is the reason why we need to start to report this criminal Ejimako, who has a case, unfinished case in the United States, to the NBA, Nigeria Bar Association. That is law society in Nigeria. And they're supposed to have actions that they will take against anybody who is misrepresented, including now this guy is going to now promoting criminality in Biafra land. Promoting criminality in Biafra land. That is the way it is. Now let's continue to hear what he has to say.
So having considered all this, he needed to provide the clarity you talked about, to separate the apples from the oranges, and the best way he thought he could do that is to end it once and for all, to start from the very beginning and end the process that is causing the issues. And that process or that event or act that is causing all these issues is still at home. I met with him on 24th, and he spoke to me along these lines, that he's now left with no option but to take this drastic step.
The question is, yes, indeed. The question is how drastic really is this letter to Simon Ekpa? Is there any chance at all that Nnamdi Kanu may have been put under some kind of pressure, to write this letter, just to secure his own freedom? And from
now, I want you to understand that each time there is a issue or matter relating to Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, this lady from Arise News is available. I want you to understand the algorithm. I want you to see how they roll. Now, the most important thing that they have come here to do, Ejimako number one, he is here to see if he will do damage control, because he was warned not to publish this thing by the person who pays him more money. Because if you ask Ejimako question now, he will tell you that does IPOB pay him? The question he will ask you, does IPOB pay him? What does that mean? He does not work with IPOB. He does not work for Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. It is those who pay him he work for. It is those who pay him, but he is using the name of Nnamdi Kanu, calling himself a special counsel of Nnamdi Kanu. That's what happens. Now, he asks you, does IPOB pay him? Now, at the end, Eberima is now bringing money, paying him. Now, let me tell you exactly what you need to expect in coming days. Remember their so-called criminal activities that they are calling on Biafra land is going to kickstart soon. Let me tell you what to expect. And that thing you are going to expect is that the reason why the thief in Finland is now laying low, he does not want to fight death yet with this Ejimako, who is his co-fellow criminal. It is because he is trying to see if that sit at home is going to work, which is not going to work. When the sit at home fails, you will find this criminal in Finland coming to now attribute the failure, which it has always been failing, but he wants to attribute it to Ejimako. Now he will now start fighting dirty with this Ejimako. And the Ejimako have know already that the person he is dealing with, that the person does not have a shame. He is a person who can fight naked in the street, on the marketplace. That's why Ejimako granted this interview. It is one of the reasons why Ejimako granted this interview, while trying to do a damage control, because they are still in negotiation with each other to see if the exposition among themselves will continue. Now, Ejimako has no choice. He didn't want to deliver this letter. This is a rejoinder. He has been issued instruction before to do this, because it has gotten to the hearing of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu that Ejimako is working with the enemy and the agent provocateur. That is the reason why Mazen Nnamdi Kanu gave him the assignment directly to come and deliver it. He was in talk with Eberima all this while, talking with Eberima, telling him, this is how we are going to do it. This is how we are not going to do it. Now, that is exactly the reason why the talk did not work as per plan. And he said he has to save his head. He has to actually, be in the good book. Because all he did is to be in the good book. On the person they are using their name to meet governors. Sorry. And Ejimako not call himself special counsel. Which governor knows him? Who knows that he exists? A criminal that was deported from USA or run away from USA. He's in contempt of court in the USA. If not Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, how many of you knows who Ejimako is? So he has to clear his name and be in the good book of the man he claims he is representing. That's why he has to take the drastic step. He has to actually swallow, take everything, the bullet that will come from his master, his paymaster, illegal payment he is getting from Simon Eber. Illegal payment is sweet sometimes. He is getting illegal payment because that is misrepresentation. You are actually calling yourself a representative of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, but you are getting illegal payment from the enemies of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. What an irony. So as a result of that, he is now playing double standard, a double agent, the highest bidder. Because for him to open his mouth to ask IPOB, to say IPOB is not paying him, it means that he is looking for who will pay him. He is looking for who will actually give him the money, because it is all about money. If you give him money, he will confess that Satan is the Lord. I am telling you, that's exactly what he represents. Now, in this regard, and I see recently he has started threatening IPOB. The information that is reaching me has it that he has started threatening IPOB, a non-entity that does not know anything about IPOB other than 2021 when they planned and took away Nnamdi Kanu. And remember that anybody who threatens IPOB threatens Nnamdi Kanu. Ejimako, you are too small. You see, do you know what exactly it means? Is the reason why you will think that Ekberima in Finland is actually, I don't know what is going on. I will coming off and on. Let me tell you the reason why Finland, country that has been on a periphery, that is the reason why, because the activities of it, once we are talking like, when IPOB can make you know, that IPOB can actually make the world know about you. If we remember you, we make you famous, be it in a good way or in a bad way. They know very well what IPOB stands for, how formidable we are in advertising anything that we want to bring to the mainstream. So they are enjoying that, they are enjoying that popularity that we are giving them while we are talking about the Ekberima in Finland. So people are now recognizing that there is a place called Finland. So it is part of a way of advertising for tourism. I hope you understand. This is a kind of how a country is run. That is foreign policy. It is part of the foreign policy. You know what is actually profitable for your own nation. That is exactly what they are pursuing. So if you believe that, what we are, Finland will just remove, except if you stop working in their benefit, that's when they will be thinking otherwise. But for now, bear in mind that the activities of the terrorists in Finland is still working in the benefit of Finland as a nation, because it is a way of advertising the country. Now, that is a digression. Let me continue. I want you to understand that this guy, everything he is doing, everything he does, he is doing it for the sake of money. And now he has no choice. He was compelled to come and do this because he was given this information before, this task before. He didn't want to deliver it. Until you hear Ejima Ejiofor say that there are people whom Nnamdi Kanu told to go and lay charges against the Finland criminal, that those people did not deliver. That's what actually made him now to be uncomfortable. That's exactly the reason why he has to now acknowledge this last letter, the rejoinder. That is just a rejoinder. It is not the initial one. Initial one was issued. He flouted the information. He was busy negotiating, telling Ekberima, trying to negotiate with Ekberima how he was going to announce it, even giving him a tweet to tweet. He gave him a tweet to tweet how he is going to actually navigate, that conundrum that they have actually found themselves into. So while at it was failing, he has to now come up by himself without, because he knows if you are in contempt with the man who make you relevant, to deal with you is very, very small, very, very, easy. So that's why he has to, because now he will damage the name of Umunna Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, the family. He will damage the name of, tarnish the name of Umunna Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Then they will know that everything DOS has been saying is the truth. So for him not to do so, there are many things at stake. It is better to use Simon as the sacrificial lamb. That is the reason why he has to come up and do the needful. And now, doing the needful, some Umokoko, there is this fool who stays in Israel, and we are Ochanko. Every time Okolona Street I Koshit. Of course, so many of you know him. He called himself Travel. And you will look at that person, you will know that this person, he should go and buy drugs for he is actually suffering from some vitamins. He has deficiency syndrome. Before he will come and be saying that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's letter is fake. Of course, he cannot see properly. He cannot reason because he lacks some vitamins in his body. So you should tell him to go and buy something, some drugs, and take and treat his own, cure his illness that makes him not to reason very well before he come and interfere in the matter that is very, very serious. He is in Israel. He said that his job in Israel. He does not sit at home, but he called for people to sit at home. When you see him talking rubbish, you will think he's human being talking. But when you look at his condition, you will know that this person is a vagabond. Let's continue. Let me not go away from the real image. And there is another thing, Chiamaka Ajere, another vagabond who does not know his left from his right. There is something I am going to show you so that you will know the plan of these people against Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. That they purposely gave them positions in their so-called government in exit in order for him to hold them to work. He paid all their Twitter to get a blue tick. Of course, Twitter is selling blue tick now, so anybody can afford it. So anybody can just buy. As long as you are getting free money, you can buy Twitter blue tick. So that's exactly what he does with them, so that they will feel special. They will say, no, all these things, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu never give us these things. When we were in IPOB, they didn't give us these things. So now we have somebody who even give us money. We were getting some touchery from this person. How can we not be here? Now I'm going to show you exactly what they are plotted against Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Against Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Just pay very good attention. Let's continue. Let's just hear this one.
From all indication, it looks like Simon Ekpa is a genie out of the bottle. What are the guarantees that this letter will actually rein Simon Ekpa in and his followers?
Well, Nnamdi Kanu was renditioned over 2 years ago. So if he would have succumbed to any kind of pressure from any quarters, from the government or whatnot, this should have happened over 2 years ago. Why now? He's not the kind of a man that succumbs to pressure. If he does, perhaps he should have dropped the allegation the agitation by now, considering the travails and the predicament that he has undergone. So there was no pressure of any sort. I was sitting with him. Unless you are suggesting that I pressured him, which I didn't. The topic of our discussion when I met with him on 24th July wasn't this. So it sprang on me as a surprise. I went in there to brief him on legalities, on the status of certain cases that we have around Eastern Nigeria.
It sprung on him as a surprise because he never knew that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu knows exactly what's going on, that he's following him up. It sprung on him as a surprise because he has been flouting the information pass through him to pass through to these infiltrators. Since the infiltrators, they have tried to demonize Ejiofor. So he is the one, when he sprung on him as a surprise. That's when Mazen Nnamdi Kanu now, he was surprised. He thought Mazen Nnamdi Kanu never knew he is working with the agent provocateur. He sprung on him as a surprise. The pressure now, it was the pressure, not just the information, the message. It was the pressure that was given to him by Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. What was the surprise in that regard? Let's continue.
In the federal capital, so he sprung this at me. So he must have ruminated over it, thought about it before I came into the room to meet with him. So that's number one. Number two is, you asked about whether Simon Ekpa will comply. Well, if you read my press release, this announcement should have been made on Simon Ekpa's platforms, media platforms.
Why?
That was the order. That if you don't make it on your platform.
That was not the order, because Mazen Nnamdi Kanu does not talk to Simon. He does not. He issued this thing to you to issue to the public. You are now claiming it is the order. He is doing damage control so that the vagabond will not come up and fight him dirty. That is the damage control you are seeing. He is making here. How can it be delivered in Simon Ekpa's platform? Let me show you exactly the reason why he said it's supposed to be delivered in Simon Ekpa's platform. Let me just shock you. Let me show you the reason why he said so. Because he has been begging Simon, because he knows that Simon is against Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. That this thing issue of releasing Nnamdi Kanu is just something they are using just to say, for them to use it, it's a reverse psychology, so that when Mazen Nnamdi Kanu comes out and turn his back on these criminals, they will say, we took a bullet for you to be released. Now you are turning against us. That is exactly the reason why they are doing all this rubbish you see them doing. Telling you the sit at home is for release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Kidnapping they are doing is for release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Their criminality is for release of Mazen Nnamdi. These are a bunch of criminals. Criminals with no backbones. That's what these people are. Criminal syndicates. Let me show you something so that you will understand exactly what we are saying. Let me show you how they roll. Just one moment, so that you will know the reason why he tells you that the information was supposed to be published in Simon Ekpa's page, as if Mazen Nnamdi Kanu has anything to do with the criminal in Finland. Lies. Let me show you. We are following them every step of the way. We are following them. Yeah, let me now download it. One moment. Let's see if I will be able to. Okay. If I will be able to bring it. Yeah. Listen to it. Let me share it so that you will see it better. Now see this. We're going to be interrupted in the next 5 minutes, and we're going to bring it back. Listen to this. There is a message you are watching here. Let me remove this one so that this one gets bigger. In this message you are watching here, you know what we are seeing? What you are seeing here is exact the message that Aloy was trying to tell Simon how he is going to announce it, to nullify the letter, so that even if they don't bring the letter to the public, because the plan of Aloy was not to bring the letter to the public. That was his primary plan. That's when he sent this message to Simon. Let me read it out in case if you are not able to see it or from your end. Listen to it. First of all, it is, if I may suggest, you can simply do a tweet along this line. That was when this information was troubling them on how to deliver it. And Simon wanted this guy to just throw that letter, quash it and throw it away, which is going to indict him, indict those who hired him, which is Nnamdi Kanu and Co. Now, that's what he is trying to achieve, avoid. Now he said, if I may suggest, you can simply do a tweet along this line. Ejimako writing to Simon. He said, notice. That is the tweet he's suggesting for Simon to write. Notice, after due consideration and consultation with Onyendu, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, through trusted and secure channels, which is trusted and secure channel, and who we are getting message from the heart of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. That is what he was going to be. And we have gotten this one from his heart, which is Ejimako is the heart of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, which is the trusted and secure channel. Now, he said, a firm decision has been made that the proposed 2-week sit-at-home is hereby suspended until further notice, no question asked. It is an order from above. That's what Ejimako suggests. So, which means some of this tweet the Ekperima is tweeting is Ejimako writing it for him to tweet. So he suggested that he wrote him this tweet so that he will tweet it, so that it nullifies the appearance of this letter, so that this letter, even if it doesn't come to the mainstream, it does not matter. The message has been passed. Then Ekperima, being that he cannot go back to his ego, because to sit at home is what he used to get money from these governors and politicians in Biafra land. The sit at home is what they are using to promote their activities. So he cannot go back to it. That is the reason why he insisted. He said to Ejimako, I will address this, no worry. Can I have this well typed out? I can't see the words, even though he didn't write it properly. He said, I can see the words clearly. I mean the written instruction. Now, Ekperima now added, because Ekperima was the one who posted this on his Twitter page, debunking Ejimako's activities with him. He is bringing it slowly, small. Ejimako knows very well that this guy can bring even the receipt they used to pay him. The receipt they used to pay him to be sabotaging Mazen Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB. He knows very well. That is the reason why Ejimako is trying to do damage control. Now, listen to it. He said here again, okay, their plot, okay, this thing is the one Ekperima added. The one on the ground, you see that is marked with yellow, highlighted with yellow, color. It is the one he added to bring his ground strong. In the relationship, I believe we are back online. In the relationship that he claimed he has with Onyendu, that is exactly what Ejimako was trying to do. I don't know. In the relationship that all right, we are back online. So, when you see Ejimako saying that this is supposed to be announced on the platform of Simon, it is actually rubbish. It is damage control to protect himself from the dirty that Ekperima is going to fight him. He is scared. He knows that Ekperima Wonyori that has nothing to lose. Listen to it.
I have authorized Barrister Aloy to do it as a public announcement. So the order is directed to Simon Ekpa for the limited purpose of announcing on his platform.
Okay.
But the announcement I have made is addressed to the whole world. It's addressed to the whole world in general, and particularly to people of Southeast and South of Nigeria.
Before now, has Ejimako ever come out to tell you that he's working with Simon Ekpa? Has Ejimako ever come to tell you he is working with Simon Ekpa? The answer is no, because it is a secret. These are two criminals that came from nowhere immediately to the rendition of Nnamdi Kanu. He never told you. He never even agreed. This is the heart of Nnamdi Kanu that they claim they are getting message. They are going to actually get to know the information of what is going on. They come out. So which means Ejimako was the man who actually went to... Remember, there was a time they were arguing for Nnamdi Kanu to change clothes. They wanted Nnamdi Kanu to change clothes. Isiago. It was Ejimako who sabotaged it. When I told you that it was the discussion that they had, the DSS had within themselves. How did Simon heard it? To say that Nnamdi Kanu, the Isiago they want to bring him, it's a juju Isiago that will make him disappear or intimidate the DSS. So that was Ejimako who went to say to Simon that they have put juju on the Isiago. So Ejimako is the agent that has been leaking all the information to the agent provocateur since 2021. Wow. Everything is making sense right now. Everything is making sense. No wonder Ejimako was trying to replace Ozokome at all costs. They tried to remove Ozokome to bring one son. You will notice that each time Nnamdi Kanu go to court, there is a son, a tall man that is there. I don't know if that man knows the reason why they hired him. I don't know if he knows exactly the reason why they hired him. They want to dent his name. So he was trying to replace Ozokome. Immediately Ejiofor suggested Ozokome. This criminal suggested another son because they don't want anything coming out from Ejiofor, because Ejiofor was uncompromisable. Ejiofor is uncompromisable. That is exactly what feared them the most. So they decided to introduce a son. That was the conflict that has been going on underground, well orchestrated, and Kanu is actually master planner of all these things. Why? You ask yourself, why are they doing all that? This is now all adding up and making sense. Listen, let's continue.
Nigeria, and followers of IPOB that are legion. So the question should have been whether these followers of IPOB will comply and obey the instruction or order or directions of their extreme leader. So we shall see that as the days unfold from tomorrow.
Okay, we're coming there.
If they don't, what happens then? I mean, if Simon Ekpa's followers don't do the bidding of Nnamdi Kanu, at least based on what he said in the letter, giving that directive, what happens then?
Well, the question you put now, referring to Simon Ekpa's followers, suggests that Simon Ekpa has different followers from Nnamdi Kanu.
Wow.
No, that's a fallacy.
Wow.
Simon Ekpa's followers are Nnamdi Kanu's followers. So anybody following Mazi Simon Ekpa is following him because he believes that Ekpa is following Mazi Nnamdi Kanu.
Now, anybody following him is following him because he believes that Ekpa is following Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I will not take all of that from you. There are some people who does not have brain, who believe that Ekpa is following Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And amongst all these followers of Ekpa, there were millions of them who were against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Those are the main followers of Ekpa. There are few people who are the victim of Ekpa's antics. So, but for you to come and say that the followers of Ekpa is followers of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, you are lying. You yourself, you are not a follower of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, but you were followers of Ekpa. You were just there for the sake of the money. Likewise, so many of them who made themselves available are just there for the sake of the money they are actually going to benefit from these activities of Ekpa. Just like, let me show you one. You say so followers of Ekpa is followers of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Let me show you one, Jerry. Because I see that Nezo Quadrogon on. Now listen to this. Watch, look at this. It is from one of the followers of Ekpelima. You can't tell me that these followers of Ekpelima believe that Ekpelima is working with Nnamdi Kanu. Those are people who knows exactly what they are doing. These are agents. Listen to him. Look at one of these followers of Ekpelima. Listen. Read it out nicely. Some of you who will be able to read it out correctly. Let's see. Are you seeing it? Are you paying attention? Let us read. It is very, very simple. This is Raphael Chiamaka Ajere. Raphael Chiamaka Ajere, and the government in exile. Now he said, mad people everywhere. That's what he said. He was referring to a tweet made by Ejimako Chiamaka Ajere. I don't know if any of you is able to see this tweet. Let me zoom it. Maybe you will be able to see it better. Of course, I believe by now you can see it better so that you will read it yourself. These are followers he's replying to this same man that is speaking to you. He said he is calling him now mad people everywhere. Biafra is bigger than everyone, including Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. These are the people you claim that are followers of Ekpa that is also followers of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Is that not a war that they are actually raging against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu when he comes out? Imagine Chiamaka Ajere, vagabond on Italy. I believe none on Italy. Don't worry for money in Italy. Okoloja side that tomorrow pastor. The other day government in exile. Vagabonds don't worry for pastor. If you watch all these people that he is working with, they are non-entities that COVID-19 were going to actually render them to be the real vagabond. But they were rescued by infiltrating IPOB. Look at Chiamaka Ajere. Coming to tell you mad people everywhere. Biafra is bigger than everyone, including Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Why in this context? Why in this context? For you to see the plan and this autopilot who claim they are the ones who are doing what Mazen Nnamdi Kanu want, and every other person is not doing what Mazen Nnamdi Kanu want. Of course, you collect water from people who actually knows better. That is exactly, these are the people, when when this guy tell you that followers of Ebelima is the same as followers of Nnamdi Kanu, you debunk him from there. It is few victims, very few victims, and they were never part of this struggle. They were never listening to Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Some of them who made themselves available, they were people who make themselves available for what they will profit, what they will benefit. Those like Chiamaka Ajere. Let us continue, please. Okay. Oh, wow. Where is the memo, please? I don't know if any of you saw any memo. Did any of you saw any memo? Now, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu called a disciple. Wow. When I told you that this guy is coming to do damage control, who wrote the memo? Who wrote the memo? Did Mazen Nnamdi Kanu write memo from the DSS? Of course, the letter is simple. It is written in a black and white with a pen. You will see that it was written by Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, who now made the memo that you said. Because you know that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is not going to be here. You claim the memo is written and was addressed as a disciple. He is doing damage control. Don't blame him. I don't blame him. He knows what he is opting for right now. He knows the mess he has found himself into. So don't blame him when he's doing damage control. Try to see if the devil that he is dealing with, to see if he will tamper his fighting with mercy, not with dirty. But we are watching. We are watching. As an iron ekwensu na-eri na-ejiri ogologo ngaji, but these two are two ekwensus. So they will deal with each other. Let's continue. Yeah, previous. He had a limited role. Remember, this is for figurative words. He is using figurative words for a layman not to understand. Because if you try to argue it, he will tell you that the limited role he mean in this guys is that he actually, you know, he was informed about the letter, but he didn't pay attention, so I had to now do it. That's what the limited role. As if when he say, so many of you will believe that it is Mazen Nnamdi Kanu directed him for him to publish it, when Mazen Nnamdi Kanu has issued this, told these people to file a case against Simon, Now he is telling you that the person Mazen Nnamdi Kanu told to file a case against is now addressed as disciple. Okay, let's play a devil advocate. Let's actually say that we found a memo where Mazen Nnamdi Kanu called a disciple. What if Mazen Nnamdi Kanu say that, referring this to the people who claim they are disciples or who call themselves disciples? How was the memo written? These are the things we need to put in place, because we are fighting a war that is very, very, that needs very, very a good diplomacy. That's what we are engaging in right now, a diplomatic war. We are engaging in a diplomatic war. Look at the criminal in USA is a lawyer that they have chosen to call himself special counsel to Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. International community in the USA, what are they going to be seeing these people as? They will be seeing that they will say that these people they are criminals working with criminals. Imagine a lawyer that was run away from USA. Imagine a lawyer that admitted guilt of misrepresentation and fraud, and they charge him for fraud, misrepresentation, and what is the other one? Is the one now being calling himself a special counsel to a well-renowned freedom fighter. They will see everything to be a joke, so they know what they are doing. This is one of the reasons why when you are calling on international community, international body, when they look at you, they will say, these people, they are not serious. Because of the parasite that is within the organization. Parasite that is within the forces they have planted around us. And they know about it. They know how to, they know these things very well. A man that is forcing IPOB to go into terrorist index so that he will use his autopilot and his government in exile to take over and sideline, including Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. It is the man that this guy, Ejimako, is here talking, negotiating with fallacy. A lawyer na-agụzi asọ mmiri. Which leadership? Wow. Yeah. Now, Arise News interviewer, you are talking about Simon asserting himself as the leader. What else are you guys, you know, I don't know why Nigeria people, they are so in denial of a fact. What exactly did Simon not assert himself as a leader by telling himself that he is Biafra prime minister? As if you people are not odd. Are you guys not educated? What is prime minister? In a nation where there is a prime minister, who is above prime minister? So he has asserted himself as a leader in the eyes of his blind followers. Because we know that he is not part of us. So I don't know what type of leadership you are talking about if he may assert himself to be. In case, let me remind you, because you people are forgetting so quickly, because you people on a zoo, I want to do too much, plus petrol price. So it makes you people evaporate your thoughts and your remembrance, your memories. So let me remind you what we have here.
Of this menace. I want to thank the mover of this motion and the rest of us, plus all those others who have risen in support of this motion. And I also want to thank my good friend OGD for helping to make it known to everyone that this is a national problem. First of all, I will crave the indulgence of my colleagues to go back to history, because my people have a saying, if you don't know where the rain started to beat you, you will not know when it will have also ended. This matter of sit at home started in 2021, August 2021, when the agitation group called IPOB insisted that they will go on a sit at home because of their leader held in prison in the DSS. 3 weeks later, when the effects of the criminal takeover of this started to manifest, this same IPOB came out and said that they are no longer supporting sit at home, that they will have stopped. Unfortunately, very unfortunately,
very,
the general had been removed from the bottle. And all manners of criminal elements had taken over.
All right.
And now use the sit at home to kill, to maim, to burn houses, to kill policemen and all manners of innocent people.
Thank you.
When that continued,
Yes.
by December of 2021, and I need for everybody to know this, in company of former senator and our former deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu, 2 bishops, and the secretary of Ohaneze, I went with them to meet with their leader, Nnamdi Kanu, in the DSS headquarters. And there, we pointedly asked him, why did you institute this menace that is crippling the Southeast? He denied
Pay attention.
and said that the person who is going ahead and insisting that he's doing sit at home on his behalf is somebody called Simon Ekpa, living in Finland. And that he never authorized that. And that actually the person he said that ought to represent him is another person. And he called the person's name, Chike Edozian. We came back from that meeting in DSS, called a meeting.
He called the person's name, the person that is representing him. Did he tell you that the person that represents him is Simon Ekpa or Kanu or Aloy and Who? Of course, so many of you are aware that Naya Baribe has been vocal with regards to things about the, Biafrans and Igbos. So it is not the first time. Now, on this note, he told you the same thing that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu said here. Because one thing is that they are claiming, because they are so jealous of Chike Doziem, because when they look at, Mazi Chike Doziem, they will, say, how can Mazi Chike Doziem be the one to occupy this position? Because he blocked every channel whereby they will communicate with him and corrupt him. That is the reason why they will tell you that Chike Doziem has taken money. That's why he's not coming out. Listen.
Anybody not following anything that DOS says goes. Anybody not following orders from Chike Doziem from DOS, you will be removed and sanctioned appropriately. Before we remove you without knowing where you are. This time around, we will catch you before we remove you.
Okay.
Anything DOS says is what goes. Uzurumike is heading our reconciliation committee. If he calls you on the phone, you must listen to him and do as he says. He is our deputy head of Directorate of State, led by Mazi Chike Doziem. They are the highest decision-making body in IPOB.
Did you hear that?
If that thing is difficult, then now refer it to me.
So who is now holding the power of attorney? When a lawyer who knows these things will come and tell you otherwise, it can only be about the reason why he is speaking from the both side of his mouth. Let me show you example, because I have told you the example from the beginning. 2021, I told you 2021 Anambra State election, they proposed to Andy Oba that they want to boycott the election since they are the ruling party. Of course, when an election is boycotted in Anambra State, they will put the ruling party. They want to charge him 1 billion naira. When he refused to pay them the 1 billion naira, they came to tell you Andy Oba is the source of insecurity in Anambra State. How many of you remember? Because some of you are following, but you cannot remember anything. How many of you are aware of that? That he called him, that is the source of insecurity in Anambra State, when it was a Berima himself bringing insecurity in Anambra State. Listen to this for you to confirm, in confirmation of that which we are trying to actually inform you about. Listen to this. Did you see what is in front of you? The image that is in front of you, it is a screen grab, screenshot of Simon Ekpa and Aloy and Who, where they of course, they have started exposing themselves. The screenshot, let me read it out for you so that you will understand what exactly it is written there. It says, this is Aloy and Who saying, Simon, this screenshot will prove that on 19th July, you begged me to facilitate your desperation to speak with Governor Mba, but I used my number 6 to frustrate it because I knew you will ask him for money in return for betraying of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. That's why you disobeyed his order. Did you see that? Did you see that? What does this tell you as a Biafran? It tells you that Simon Ekpa, he goes to politicians. That is the reason why whenever there is a politician that is actually working, assiduously for the release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, he turned against that person. Even that time he was turning against Andy Uba. he knows that Andy Uba was also working assiduously to see if he will, he will help in release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. He turned against him, trying to make every other person to turn against them, telling you that the DOS have sold out, they are now working with politicians. Ask Simon Ekpa, why did he go to Bege Ejimako, who is his foot soldier, who go and negotiate deals with these politicians on his behalf? Why did he go to send Ejimako to go to Peter Mba? And when that plan fails, he started telling you Peter Mba this, Peter Mba that. He started telling you because he told Peter Mba, the plan was to tell Peter Mba, we know some of your secret, we want money from you so that we will be able to work together, and we will not call sit at home in Enugu. Because if you don't give him money, the sit at home goes to your home country. That's why when Devil Omahi was in Ebonyi State, there was no sit at home enforcement in Ebonyi State. Try to understand the mathematics. When Devil Omahi was in Ebonyi State, there was no sit at home enforcement in Ebonyi State. True or false? Now the new governor is there. They want to bring him, they want to intimidate him. Now they will now go and negotiate how much he will pay them in order for them to not make his position ungovernable. That has been part of the game that these people has been playing. That is exactly the game you are seeing now, right in front of your screen. Now, let's continue to read what they actually respond to each other here. Let me read them. The ones on the black and green, which is Simon Ekpa's response. Ekperima and Ejimako has been in communication. Secret one. Now, if any now he said, be ready in few minutes. That is Ekperima. I've waited long enough. He is delayed on a project inspection outside Enugu. I'm leaving and he has been informed. He said that that's okay. It will be rescheduled for another day. Sorry about that, my brother. But nothing spoiled. At least I honored the invite, which is a good beginning. Now, he is Ejimako did not refuse. Ejimako wanted to do the negotiation between the governor and this guy. But at the end of the day, the information has it now that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu has been, have understood exactly what these guys has been doing. That's why he facilitated this letter, and immediately, that's why he said that it sprung up as a surprise to him, because it was after Enugu, after going to negotiate with the governor of Enugu State, which failed. Now, immediately the letter came to him, and immediately Ekperima started, telling you that that's when he was threatening Governor Enugu State, telling him that we know your girlfriend, we know your side chick, we know this, we know that. So he was threatening him so that he will succumb to the threat and give them what they wanted. If you understand the game that criminal plays. So now, at the end of the day, what happened became that they couldn't intimidate Peter Mba. And they decided, because this one came before the intimidation will even manifest. So that's the conundrum they have found themselves. Now, Ekperima probably believe that Ejimako went and got the money and siphoned it or eat it himself and came with a letter. That is exactly what's going on right now. Ekperima believed that he went and negotiated with Peter Mba and take the money and now brought up a letter Because everything that you will be hearing from this autopilot to Umokoko, it is the meeting they held in Enugu State. That was where they drafted the letter. It is a lie. They claim that Ejimako went and siphoned money from Peter Mba and decided to draft the letter. It is a lie. Ejimako wanted to do that thing, that negotiation, because onwe share how about Eke. But unfortunately, the information reaching Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was that it has been too much. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu handed him this letter with ultimatum that he should publish that letter. No longer the one he will issue to him, and he will not publish it. So that's when Ekperima now believe. No, he went to collect money from Peter Mbana and bring letter. Because Simon Ekpa does not even, there is nothing, the only thing Ejimako does between Simon and Nnamdi Kanu is that Ejimako go to Nnamdi Kanu and get information without Nnamdi Kanu knowing whom he is getting information for. And he will pass it to Ekperima in Finland. Ekperima in Finland will now use it to do a program. Now I can tell you now, let's go straight to the point about the verdict on the high appellate court with Nnamdi Kanu and the game Nigeria is playing, so that you will understand where all this sit at home is coming from all of a sudden recently. And this Ejimako is well aware of that. That is the reason why he knows and he passes it through to Simon Ekpa. Because I know that the information I got, I believe that some of the lawyers, some of them must have known the information, but it will not be in their position maybe to come to of course they are professionals. So we get our own information. We know where we obtain our own information. And that source is a confidential source. So let me tell you what is happening. The appellate court has actually verified that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's verdict on the 13th of October 2022 is authentic, that it was issued within the ambit of the law and it is constitutional. So they have actually tried to see if there is any way possible or any means possible for them to stay execution or for them to continue to hold Mazen Nnamdi Kanu in a solitary confinement. They have seen that there is no way. What they did, what they are doing right now, it is now waiting for P2B's verdict. Pay attention to this. This guy is calling again. Let me answer him before I say this, because maybe his time zone. Hello?
How are you?
Good on you. Who is speaking? Are you calling for the program?
Yes, I'm calling for the program.
Okay, please be brief. 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Okay, I want to ask, between you people and Simeon Ekpa, which people are trying to bring Mazen Nnamdi Kanu out from where Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is today?
Oh, between us and Simon Ekpa, who is trying to bring Mazen Nnamdi Kanu from where he is today?
Yes.
Okay. And then before I answer you that question, on what ground are you asking me that question?
I want to know who am I following?
On what ground? So who are you following currently? Because your question sounds to me as if it sounds condescending to me. So I want to know your ground to throw this question to me.
No, do you know one thing? If I follow you, my problem is I want this young man to be out from where he is today. Because this young man is suffering because of us.
Okay.
That is where I'm following. And anyone that will make this man to be out, that is who I will follow.
All right. Thank you very much. I like your analogy there. Now let me clear you up.
Okay.
Do you know when this sit at home has been they started the sit at home? Do you know who initiated the sit at home from the inception, from the beginning of 2021?
Yes.
Who?
It's Nnamdi Kanu.
Dude. You see, you are not following. How can Nnamdi Kanu be in the solitary confinement and initiating sit at home? Did he tell you?
Initiating sit at home the time of.
I am talking about prior to, okay, from the time he was rendition to Nigeria.
No, before the rendition to Nigeria, I started to sit at home. From
no, let's be realistic. I don't have time much. Let's be realistic. The time Nnamdi Kanu was taken into custody, who initiated the sit at home in order to push for the release of Nnamdi Kanu?
I started from that moment following Simon Ekpa.
So you don't even know anything about the leadership of the struggle, apart from Nnamdi Kanu.
Apart from Nnamdi Kanu, that is, I followed Nnamdi Kanu for his program. And after rendition, even when he rendition, I called one man. I told man that I'm feeling like maybe I not hear this Nnamdi Kanu voice for some days. Make you maybe say anything happen. Before even the man tell me, later the man tell me, say it's like Nnamdi Kanu is in Abuja.
Okay, that means, no, what you are telling me now is a clear indication that you are not a member of IPOB. That is not a problem. If you are not a member of IPOB, you are a sympathizer or you are a follower of Nnamdi Kanu, or you listen to him but you don't know anything about his IPOB structure and how they run their day-to-day activities. That is okay. I don't want to emphasize on that. So, but who exactly initiated the sit at home when Nnamdi Kanu was renditioned? Who initiated the sit at home? You don't know.
From the Simeon Ekpa.
Okay, it is from the Simeon Ekpa.
The one I know.
Okay, that means you people, the problem that some of you guys have is lack of information, because that is the reason why now I understand that is the reason why Simon started with enter Biafra. Then he took you people away from where you will hear information from both sides. I don't blame you, because I know that you seek to learn. That's why you called, and I like it that I pick up your call. Now let me educate you. In 2021, when Nnamdi Kanu was rendition, the first thing that the DOS, the leadership in the absence of Nnamdi Kanu, even when Nnamdi Kanu was around, the DOS see to the day-to-day activities of IPOB, and they are the highest office. Nnamdi Kanu is the highest commander. Now, at the end, when Nnamdi Kanu was renditioned, which in DOS was not aware that Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped. Kanu was aware. When the DOS asked, where is Nnamdi Kanu? He said that he is in the mountain praying. Okay, that is, by the way, to cut the long story short. The DOS, when they were made aware of what's going on, Nnamdi Kanu was already in Nigeria, because they orchestrated that plan to destroy what Nnamdi Kanu has promised Nigeria, that you will never penetrate IPOB, so that you people that are on the periphery, who does not know the full story, will say that Nnamdi Kanu, DOS have sold Nnamdi Kanu. That was how they orchestrated the plan. Now, DOS, after fighting with Kanu, why did he not inform the leadership that Nnamdi Kanu has a problem? Then the DOS decided that they will come up with a plan, the plan is civil disobedience, knowing that the civil disobedience is to start with sit at home, because if we send people to go out on the street, Nigeria government will shoot them. There will be a lot of casualties. The DOS established the sit at home in 2021. And everybody sat at home, but Nigeria government decided that they will act one or two drama. Both people who they burn their bosses, saying that it is IPOB, this and that. Then the same Kanu came to say that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu called for the cancellation of that sit-at-home immediately. And of course, you know what is command and control. IPOB is rooted in command and control. That is why Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is the highest commander. Right? Now, immediately when DOS obeyed the order from Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, Simon Ekpa now introduced autopilot and said that the sit-at-home continues, which is going against the order of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, which before the DOS was able to cancel this sit-at-home, they did everything to make sure that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu said it, because the reason Mazen Nnamdi Kanu gave was that it will bring a lot of criminality in our land, that they should cancel it immediately, that Nigeria's DSS and police, they will use the opportunity to start going and burning people's houses and killing people in the name of now IPOB in a medicine at home. And the reason was valid, because that is exactly what is happening now. It was what he saw on time, and that is what is happening now. So Ekperima saw that this is now the ladder that he will use to convince so many of you who are uninformed. That's when Ekperima now starts saying sit-at-home continues and saying it is hurting Nigeria. Some of you were saying that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu saying that you should burn down the zoo. Is going to school while your own children are in Finland going to school, 5-star school with Ego Mobi. How forcing sit at home, they placed the name of IPO. The reason why Britain was facilitating that, it was only that they, if IPOB is called a terrorist, do you know what happens? In any place in the world, you will be arrested because you are a terrorist. Military, kill all the governors. This
is there.
Okay, uninformed. You people are people who, when they come to our land, these are so-called, you know, what is the reason? Network. Guide our side from who? Yes. So not to be raped. So now immediately when they saw that our people, our security is now in the bush, chasing away all the terrorists, what Nigeria government did under the leadership of the impostor in Aso Rock, in the name of Buhari, what he did was he started recruiting Boko Haram, saying that they have repented, and they were pushing them in our land. The same terrorists in the military uniform, they were called the Army of Conquest. That's when Mazen Nnamdi Kanu told you that when they come to your land, whoever they see, they kill. They burn the house of people randomly. That was when Mazen Nnamdi Kanu tell you, if you see such people, you can use a petrol bomb, which is you put a rag in the bottle, light it, throw them, chase them away out of our land. So don't bring Mazen Nnamdi Kanu into the criminal activities of this Ekperima in Finland, because that is exactly what they want you people to be doing. You people who are uninformed. This time around, wait, let me land. This time around, wait, let me finish. This time around, what you see now is quite different from what Mazen Nnamdi Kanu did. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu combated terrorists. Now, what you are seeing is a group of kidnappers. What you are seeing are people who are going to terrorize your parents who are in the marketplace. One Okwema no Oku in Nigeria now. Are you aware?
Yeah.
So when you stop somebody from going to the market, there are people whom that if they don't go to the market, they will not eat a one-course meal in a day. Why do you want to impoverish them? When Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is suffering for the sake of these people, do you think that will release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu? When Nigeria government is well aware that you are impoverishing your land, Nigeria government, what they are after is what they make from the oil sale. If you don't do anything to block the oil sale, any other thing you are doing in your land is rubbish. If you like, do it 100 years, they don't care. What you realize from your allocation determine the budget that will go to you. That is what happens in Nigeria. So these people who are actually doing, who are telling you people rubbish, feeding you people rubbish, now enter their room where they are dragging you, preventing you people from hearing the gospel. They are destroying your land. They are destroying your people who are back home. I don't know where you are, but you are calling me with a zoo number. They are destroying your lives. You believe that now once an elok, so come up with your next question. Make it snappy.
Next question I'm trying to come up with now. There is somebody at Paul,
Yes.
Last time.
Okay.
Even somebody like Moa, I'm not just happy with that word.
Okay.
Because the thing touches me.
Okay.
But number plus is in onion, that's not come. Nine or 11 until you learn something. So that word, and where he also got one nine made, he also got one nigga made. When outside, they ball up the idea. Even though no matter the condition, you have to draw your brother. In your ball good never know.
Okay. Let me clear that. Let me clear that. I know. I think you know, I know that people capitalize on one mistake somebody make. Do you know that many things, you know, has been said? Achebe Paul, I believe that that guy is a good guy. Everybody can be emotional sometimes. Maybe no, you need to follow him now also. The most important thing you need to understand that people can be emotional sometimes because having seen something that is happening coming from the siblings of Nnamdi Kanu. Are you aware that siblings of Nnamdi Kanu contributed to the what Nnamdi Kanu is going through today? Are you aware that Achebe Paul sometimes he actually forfeit the time just to come here and educate people like you? Don't you think that people will get frustrated because when people are tarnishing your effort, which you dedicate yourself to be doing all the time? The reason why I believe he might make that statement, it is because the siblings of Nnamdi Kanu are taking this struggle as if it's a family business. And I know that whatever he might say, he said it for the sake, because he knows that he dedicated himself. You know, some of us cannot come back to the zoo. Do you know that?
Yes.
If you see the time Ojuku's brother came to talk rubbish that Nnamdi Kanu, they should warn Britain not to allow him to be there to be talking, insulting Nigeria. If you know what I told him, Ojukwu, his brother, led us to war. So why will he come and tell us that those people who die for that war, they die for nothing? So these are the things. People can say, you know, things out of emotion for the sake of what they see at that moment. It didn't mean bad for Nnamdi Kanu. It is the siblings, the activities of the siblings make it look as if it is a family business. So I want you to just don't capitalize. The enemy will always use your weakest moment to fight you. So tell me something else.
Okay. Whatever I want to talk again is just like I want to preach. Because here I am not fighting. I cannot fight.
We cannot join force with our enemy who want our downfall. Do you think that a prime minister will want somebody who will come and collect the prime minister back from him to come out, to be released? Do you think that Tinubu will want Peter Obi to win in court?
Okay.
No, do you think that Tinubu will want Peter Obi to win in court?
I don't think so.
So when somebody crown themselves prime minister, telling you their government in exile, they control Biafra land, they're flouting every order, they have told you they will not listen to anybody in the solitary confinement. Listen, The reason why Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is still in the DSS dungeon today is that whenever it is coming to the time where Mazen Nnamdi Kanu court case is nearing, Ekperima will start all these things that, like what you said, that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu say you should fight this military. Ekperima will start doing this thing to be reminding Nigeria, to be telling Nigeria that this is what Mazen Nnamdi Kanu did, which is not what Mazen Nnamdi Kanu did. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu protested against the terrorist, not against any Nigeria and any state actor. So Ekperima is doing the same thing, reminding them, trying to convince them that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was fighting the state actors. That's exactly what Ekperima is reminding Nigeria. But you people cannot, fathom that. You cannot understand it. Because you people are on the periphery. You don't know what is going on. Sit at home will not release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Or if you want to hold the government for ransom, Yaga Niger Delta, ya hold the pipeline not there. If now they will listen to him. Because the people who are sponsoring him, they draw a line. You destroy Biafra land. Have you ever asked yourself, where did the Ekperima come from? Onyene Gosurogiri, his identity to freedom. Mbojuku declare himself a leader of Biafra. Did you not know where Ojuku come from? When Mazen Nnamdi Kanu declared himself as a leader of Biafra, did you not know where he come from? Do you not know who is his father? How can somebody you don't know who is his father give you freedom? Go and preach to your people. People who are actually like uninformed as you are. Go and tell them that sit at home is prolonging Mazen Nnamdi Kanu in detention. Like I am saying now, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu court has set him free. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, the case now Ogaza in coming months. That case, he has no case to answer in the coming months. But the thing they are doing now is to make sure that our Biafra land is going to be as hot as possible. So that when if Tinubu see that Peter Obi win now, if Peter Obi win in the court, they will see now, because he will not want to come down. He will not concede. He doesn't want to concede. What they will do first is that they will say, no, let us now use this opportunity to bring Igbo Kokulu to go down by releasing Nnamdi Kanu. So that for him to buy the face of Igbo. That is exactly the bidding they are planning to do. And that is exactly what I was trying to say. It is not about you coming to the media to issue order that is senseless, that is baseless. Did I tell you that I am looking for Peter Obi? This is a reality of what is happening in Nigeria we are talking about. Did I ever tell you that I want Peter Obi to win or Tinubu to win? It is the reality of the game they are playing. I am getting you to be informed of. I want you to follow what I am telling you right now. What they want, if the verdict go against Tinubu, they will try to use Mazen Nnamdi Kanu to buy the face of the eastern region. That is exactly what's going on. So they want the eastern region to be hot as possible, so that all the attention will be there. That's why Ekperima is calling for sit at home. You don't know these things. So when it's as hot as possible, when now, if there is any uprising, when Peter Obi win in the court, they will now say, let's use Nnamdi Kanu to settle the eastern region, Ndibo. Now, so that the uprising will be coming from the minority. That is the game. You need to know the game. You don't just need it is a logic. You need to know the game. And if you know the game, then you will know how to follow the game they are playing. It is not about the people are doing their bidding. They are doing their bidding. They are making people to drawing attention of people away from what is going on in Nigeria to the southeast, while they are impoverishing our people. It is very, very bad. But you people believe that without this noise, this guy name, noise on the government of Nigeria loves so much. They love it so much. Why Oji consider there will be no election in Biafra land, knowing that Tinubu will rig election? Why would he try to make it easy for Tinubu to rig election?
Is the first person to say that your vote cannot give you any candidate except you stop it. You don't want to stop. Why? Like from one before and all there's no election in Anambra State.
Okay.
Like from beginning.
I go listen. Okay, na Igbo.
Ana m Igbo fuma.
Asị na afọ ilu ofe emete gali. Ịghọta ife m kwu here. Asị na egwu na-echenji beat and na-echenji dancing step. Eziokwu ka asị. So, when it comes to na ndị Igbo bịa decide say na ha chọ ka ha malụ na ha belong to Nigeria. The whole, even in the south side, ụmụnna anyị dị in denial na ha ụmụnna anyị. Nigeria na Britain na achọ ka ha convince at all cost na ha bụrụ ụmụnna anyị. They supported telling you that ndị Igbo no Igbo presidency. Then ọ bụrụzia gụnwa onye Igbo ga-apụtazi si ha mba na ama nchọ Igbo presidency. When we know that even if they win, they will not give them the Igbo presidency. Why don't you show them that the fault has never been yours? Because Britain always wanted you to be the aggressor. If we boycotted election in 2020 or 2022, had it been we boycotted that election, we had the capacity to do so. But if we do so, Tinubu will still buy his way into the position of power. You know what it will be? That even our people in the south will say that Igbos are all evil. They are foolish. Is it the type of people we call our brother? So we allow them as in onya look of nanya. Anya wakanji siga filo fe metegari. The DOS are wise.
Okay. Chineke nyere ya aka, Chineke gozi unu niile, Chineke mee ka ihe gbasara Maazị Nnamdi ka Maazị Nnamdi pụta kene wụrụ ọnụ ya kwụsite kene ihe anyị nwere ike ịnụ.
Ọ wee ekpere anyị. And ọ ga-apụtakwa very soon. Ọ ga-apụta very soon.
Ihe ya eme ka strọgụl ahụ nwa ka ọ ruo n'isi njere ka ọ ruo na ka ọ gbaa na ending. Chineke nna ya nyere aka ka emegide ihe ahụ maka enwetaga ndị Biafra anyị na-achọ. Ekpere niile na-ekpe nwe ihe ya eme unu niile. Chineke ma ya enyere onye ukwu ma onye nta aka. Maazị Nnamdi Kanu ya pụta n'udo na ọṅụ. By God grace, onweghị ihe eme na man. After this man na-attack ọbụ because of na anyị nwa nọ. Chineke na-edokwe ndị ama ndụ ka ndị ama mfụta ka o jiri aka ere ikere flag anyị anụnwa na-aga n'ihu na Jizọs.
Of course, ise.
Ya gazie ụzọ.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, I believe that we have rounded this thing up with educating the scholar. You know, because I know that the problem of our people is lack of information. Lack of information. That has been the problem of our people. And then if anybody is objective to hear the information, we give it to them. He sounds objective. He is not those people who is coming to be destructive, even though he is ignorant sometimes, somehow. And now, you see, the real thing that Simon is doing is to tell people that Maazị Nnamdi Kanu has been calling for you to attack the state actors. That is the one thing he is instilling in the mind of everybody, in the name of all this rubbish he's doing, without differentiating his activities from what Maazị Nnamdi Kanu was doing. The heart of Maazị Nnamdi Kanu is a heart of gold. He took the bullet for the sake of our people. He go out there, he told you to protect yourself from Fulani army of conquest. Boko Haram. Okay, during that time, Maazị Nnamdi Kanu was saying that. How many Boko Haram was released? And where were they integrated into, those Boko Haram? They tell you they release 500, they release 5,000. That's why when the Northern Coalition Group was addressing the activities of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, Northern Coalition Group told you that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu attacked the paramilitary group. Is there any paramilitary group in Nigeria other than Boko Haram that was given military uniform? Have you now seen where we caught them red-handed? Boko Haram giving military uniform deployed into Biafra land to do the same thing that Fulani in the bushes could not do. Those are the people Mazen Nnamdi Kanu say you should not allow them to kill you. Fight them back. Then Simon is coming now to turn the narrative, shouting on the social media as if it was when you ask some Umwokoko name, they tell you Mazen Nnamdi Kanu did the same. That is exactly what they do to make sure they sell a narrative to prolong Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's stay in the DSS facility. And because Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's stay in the DSS facility is enriching the idiot in Finland. Look at him, a non-entity nobody who could not pay for the venue where he used for his fake lawyer. He couldn't pay for it. The only time he was able to eat 3-course meal a day, it was after the rendition of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. COVID-19 dealt with all of these people. Today you saw that predicament of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu change your life drastically. Why do you think such a person will want Mazen Nnamdi Kanu to come out? So that you will stop negotiating with the governor. If you don't want us to enforce it at home in your state, pay us so amount. We want to buy weapon. The same thing they did with they did it. Dave Umahi supported them. That's why you haven't seen a sit-at-home enforcement in Ebonyi State until Dave Umahi went out of office, going to look for minister. Now that's why you saw enforcement in Ebonyi State, because they want to use it to tell the sitting governor in the elected government of Ebonyi State to put him in a payroll. The same thing applicable to Enugu State. That's exactly what these people are doing. These are the people you will use to compare the activities of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, who is ready to die for you, who has not committed any crime, but only fighting to restore you, to move you away from bondage called Nigeria. And the legacy is what we are actually living on to. We are fighting on that legacy. The DOS are wise. Because if they are not wise, believe you me, when Mazen Nnamdi Kanu told you, you can never penetrate, not in 1 trillion years, it is that thing they want to now say, try to prove Mazen Nnamdi Kanu wrong. But they are wrong because the DOS are wise. Mazi Chike doesn't pilot the affair of this struggle. So many of you will say, no, they have collected money. That's why they are not coming to speak. But when they come and speak, you are not there to listen. These are, that is how stupid. That is why people who colonize you, there is possibility that Africa might be colonized again. Because of the type of mentality that you have. If they are not coming to social media to shout, kill, do, ill, it means that they have sold out. What do you think that somebody will say that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu haven't said? Mazen Nnamdi Kanu have said everything sayable. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu have done everything doable. The only thing that is do now is diplomatic move. And that diplomatic move is what the DOS are doing. And they will not come and tell you. Because you want to hear what you cannot comprehend. That is exactly the problem that you people have. That is why they will tell you no. What are you doing to release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu? So sit at home, make Biafra land chaotic, make Biafra land to be burning, so that we will use it as a safe landing. The same game APC is playing, the same game they are still playing, the same game they played during the election, the same game they are still playing right now. So that they will use Biafra land being calm as a soft landing while they are, intimidating the court verdict. We know, we have intelligence. We have intelligence all over the place. That is what matters in what we are doing. But most of the time, when we give you intelligent information because we could not bring you the source or tell you the source, it means that it is judge money. No. Every successful organization works with clandestine and intelligence. That is exactly what makes every nation to thrive. We are fighting to restore a nation, not a state, not a community. We are fighting to restore a nation. And that nation is a nation that if we restore it, a mankind will be free. Mankind will be free. Africa will be free. Because we are going to break the yoke of neocolonialism. We are going to break the yoke of colonialism and imperialism. That is exactly what we are fighting for. Nnamdi Kanu, court has set him free. Appeal court does not have anything against him. They don't. It is everything you see now is connected to this election. They are using Nnamdi Kanu as their billboard, or will I say, they are using him as what do you call it? Joker. They are using him to play Joker. So we are watching them. But don't forget this thing I said right now. Don't forget it. Because it will play in before you. Then you will know that exactly we know what we are doing. All these our eastern governors, our Igbo representatives, those people in the House of Senate and Representatives, it is time for you to demand for court order to be adhered to by Nigeria, because appeal court does not have anything against Nnamdi Kanu. If you take it to the bank, it cash in. It is about them looking for what will come out of the election tribunal, so that they will use Nnamdi Kanu as the last joker. And we are making it known to the whole world what they are planning to use Nnamdi Kanu to do. ECOWAS is well aware of election malpractices in Nigeria, right? They gave chairman to your president-elect. We don't care who is crying. Nnamdi Kanu has committed no crime. We are not begging anybody to release him. We are asking them to obey their court, their judiciary, which is a judiciary is actually a place where a poor person will be able to take a breather. A judiciary, it is very, very important in every society. A society that does not obey their judiciary is not a society, it's not a nation. Any nation that does not obey their judiciary is not a nation. That's what we are asking for. Obey the court order. We are not calling for any president to do anything for Nnamdi Kanu, because you don't have the capacity. The judiciary must be obeyed. So, this is where we are going to leave this for now. I've seen you, many of you, in the comment section. If you are watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe to that YouTube channel. You support what we are doing by subscribing to that YouTube channel. Click the like button, share the video And the algorithm will continue to do the sharing as well. If you are watching on Facebook, don't forget to share the video, like the video, and then while we are waiting, don't forget that the DOS is wise. The DOS are wise. Chike Doziem, Chukwu gozie gị. Chinasa Nworu, Chukwu gozie unu. You people are doing a marvelous job. Nzurumi Ike Maazị, Chukwu gozie unu. All of them that are in that leadership position, you people are doing wonderful. We are seeing it. It is a blind man. They cannot see it because they don't have intelligent information. They don't have information. That's why. So, until we meet again, I salute all of you. The hashtag Nigeria obey their court order. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu cannot be used as a political joker. That is the most important thing we need to know. That's the information I have come to pass to you today. Ejimako will pay for his crime that he has committed against the indigenous people of Biafra. Because Chukwu Okike Abiama is watching every step of the way. We are more dedicated and we are more committed. Until we meet again, stay safe and stay informed. Bye for now.
Anybody not following anything that DOS says goes. Anybody not following orders from Chike Doziem from DOS, you will be removed from IPOB and sanctioned appropriately. You know, before we remove you without knowing where you are, this time around we will catch you before we remove you. Anything DOS says is what goes. Nzurumike is heading our reconciliation committee. If he calls you on the phone, you must listen to him and do as he says. He is our deputy head of Directorate of State, led by Mazi Chike Doziem. They are the highest decision-making body in IPOB. If that thing is difficult, then now refer it to me. Do you understand? Anything, if they call you on the phone, you don't return their call or you're doing strong head, I will then believe that the zoo has got you over and you'll be dealt with.